Good afternoon. Let's continue with our quick look at Nicodemus. It's John 3 verses 1 to 5, but let me leave that for you to read by yourself. Now, we dealt with the first verse, that he was a ruler of the Jews, that he came to Jesus by night. And he says to Jesus something that's really quite astounding. He says, we know, this is verse 2, we know that you are a man sent from God. For no one could do these miracles unless he was sent by God. That's quite astounding. In the light of what we read in the other Gospels and later on, when Jesus is accused of doing these miracles through Beelzebub, and yet Nicodemus says, we know. That's the ruling council, the Jewish ruling council. We know you are a man sent from God. Jesus cuts straight to the main point. He doesn't mess around. He says, verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. Nicodemus thinks to himself and says, how can a man be born again when he's old? How can he get a second time into his mother's womb? Now, we must understand the Greek expression, because when Jesus says except a man is born again, the Greek carries with it the thought of from the same source as his first birth. Nicodemus, thinking naturally, immediately thinks, well, how can a man get into his womb a second time, into his mother's womb a second time? But Jesus is not talking naturally, he's talking spiritually. And he says, your first birth. Where was his first birth? Well, the first birth of man was in Genesis 2:7, when God breathed on man and he became a living soul. And Jesus says, you've got to be born again, like the first birth. Has that happened to you? Stay with me, for we'll deal with this again. May the Lord bless you. Bye-bye.